Hey everyone,
we're
we are
grilling
out
with
here
Cashwise.
grilling with Cashwise Foods. We got Tim Rohde here, and we have our grilling master, Stu, and they are cooking up some of these summer favorites that you're all going to want to have at your next barbecue. So, Tim, let's open it. What do we got going on there?
Well, quite a selection actually. You know, coming up on the holiday, you want to, of course, burgers are always a fan favorite. You can come into our store and find these pre-made burgers. They contain, like, we brought out a jalapeno cheddar, we have a mushroom Swiss, and about 5 other varieties that you can pick up. So nice and easy. Then we actually brought our legendary line of beef out today. So we have a legendary top sirloin here. So that's like a choice cut of meat.
And so that's what's grilling in the middle?
Yep.
Okay.
And then this is a ribeye, legendary line, of course. It's one of the favorites that we've used for the backyard barbecue for many years now. A lot of marbling there, very tender steak, great flavor. And then another fan favorite over here is a bone-in chop. On all of these, we've used our Four Brothers lines of seasoning, and we have some new additions to that line. You know, so we have a salmon season that we'll get to in the next look, but then we have a burger seasoning that we're using on the burgers today, and then a pork seasoning that we used on the chops, and then of course our prime rib seasoning. On the far side there, Stu's getting ready to cut what's called a tri-tip. You know, beef prices are going to be high this summer.
Yeah.
So this is a cut that actually goes quite a ways. You can get quite a number of servings out of this, and then each guest can have like a 4-ounce serving, but it's really tender, has great flavor. It's kind of a cross between a steak and a roast. Cook it nice and slow for about 40 minutes. That fat cap will melt down into the meat, provide great experience. Stu's actually going to cut that now. There's a little trick to cutting it, so you want to cut that against the grain. So that's going to help break that down, make that a little bit more tender.
Okay.
It has a little bit of a top sirloin type of texture to it, so that'll help with the tenderness.
And then just for people watching, what did you all put on that? If you're cooking it, seasoning, sauces, what was on it?
We used our prime rib seasoning and then a coarse ground black pepper for that tri-tip. The steaks, we have a little secret that we've done for backyard barbecue forever in soy sauce. So we use soy sauce and garlic salt to really enhance that flavor, bring out that nice, enhance the beef flavor. So yeah, if you can get a look at that inside of that tri-tip, you still have that pink center. We went to about 135 degrees when you're cooking.
And how long at 135? How long was that on?
That was on about 40 minutes. So we just kept watching temp. We wanted to shoot for about 135, and then we rested it for about 8 minutes or so because that temp's going to drift up. So we're probably sitting just around 140, 142, somewhere in there. And you can stop it earlier if you want less done than that. And how that meat is shaped, you're going to get more done on the ends and less done in the middle, so you can kind of hit everybody's favorite.
Yeah, and I personally like that because I like mine not quite as juicy as other people maybe do. Yep. And so I'm actually just going to dive in right here and just grab that if that's okay. And while I munch on this here, why don't you just explain kind of your technique for grilling those burgers there and what you put on that?
So yeah, we use the burger seasoning here, and what we did is we just kind of got the medium temp on the grill, and then what we did is just rotated it so you get a little bit of a sear, kind of locks in those juices. This one here is done, and this one here we just added to kind of get the visual effect of how it looks when you go on.
Yeah.
And then when the lid's down, you start cooking it from the top, and then you just get it rotated once during the cooking process and flip it over, kind of the same process. And it's nice and easy, kind of hit a medium heat, and it'll coast right through for you nice and easy. Just watch for the clear juices to start to pool on the top, and that's a good indication that your inside is done.
Okay. Also, I have to say, this is delightful. This is so good. Whatever you're putting on that, the seasonings you had on that.
That prime rib seasoning really enhances the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And it forms a bit of a crust. So you're fairly heavy on the seasoning on the outside because you're just going to get that little bit of an edge. Mm-hmm. So it's going to build up that little bit of crust on there. But it has a really nice finish when you slice it up, almost like a prime rib roast, but with the texture of a top sirloin.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that back from you here. And why don't you just explain real quick, we'll come back for a little bit more, but in this segment yet, what's up with those steaks there?
Yeah, so this is our top sirloin steak, and what Stu's done is he has cross-seared this one to kind of lock in more juices. It's a very tender cut, so it's a choice cut of meat. It's called our legendary line, so it's a legendary Angus steak. It complements our Hereford line, so it's like a step up. So if you feel like a little extra treat for yourself, it's going to run probably around $1 or so more per pound, but a lot more marbling, a lot more flavor, and especially when you get into the premium steak cuts like top sirloins, ribeyes, New York strips, it's really going to provide a great experience. Very tender. And if you look over to this ribeye, you know, the amount of marbling that's on that steak is really going to provide a nice experience.
Yeah, that looks great. We'll talk more about that. I'm getting told we have to go for a second. We'll come back and we'll do some more grilling. So we're here with Tim Rohde, our grill buddy, Stu, Cashwives Foods. We'll be back with more grilling that you'll want to do in your backyard right after this.